Hello, Stephanie Dickerson here, coming to you from my house today, and good Lord, I'm gonna need sunglasses in here. But yeah, just coming to you today and to talk about guilt and gratitude and the power of appreciation. And as I was really working on this talk, I realized I have 5 steps for you to get from guilt to gratitude and to really experience the power of appreciation. So I hope you'll stick with me and get the benefit of those, because I'm really working those steps myself. It's been, hi Alexa, hi, hey, as close as I've come to saying hi to you in a while, yay. Hope you can hang in there with me, because I know that it's been a tough week. Globally, I think, but really a tough week personally for all of us, I'm sure. I mean, if anybody is immune to it, I would be very surprised. And there have been, for me, and I think globally, everywhere, moments of courage and connectedness, and then moments of really like grief and despair and sadness and unsafety and all of those pieces. And for me, what's been easiest to feel grateful for during this time is, oh, thanks, makes me tear up a little bit, but what's been easiest for me to feel grateful for during this time is really for my ability to lean in on the support that I have on my coaches and the courses that I've taken and the structures that I have in place to help me to get back to safety and into a feeling of gratitude and love. So my husband's in the background there. He just gave me a like. That's nice. Yeah, and really a lot of gratitude that I'm here with you and that I can find really new ways of showing up and find new ways of like being of support during this time when creating our inner safety and creating love in our lives and in our houses is really so up-leveled. It's, you know, exponentially more important now than it was, you know, a couple of weeks ago. One of my mentors has been sharing this analogy of like a toy box, like what's happening now for us personally in our communities and at a larger scale is like that of a toy box getting turned over and just shook out, so that anything that was hidden in there, anything that's been hiding is now out here in the light. And it's an opportunity to look at that and to reorganize it. And it certainly feels like that's what's been happening in my life and in my work. And something that has been shaken out that I noticed that was interesting to pick up and look at the connection between the two is about guilt and gratitude and how those can sometimes be connected. And I'm going to tell you a little story, a couple of different ways that has showed up for me or that I've seen that connection. But the first thing that I want to say is that whenever we're feeling guilty, it's a sign that we are out of safety. And if you're like me and you're a sensitive being, you know, I'm guessing most of you are if you're here and you're listening to me, if you're following at all along with what I do. And some of you probably like me also have a history of trauma, and that that amplifies our tendency to go out of safety or to go into fear. And since that's being amplified on this level outside of us, it's being amplified on the level inside of us. Does that make sense? The first thing that I really want you to recognize, and actually raise your hand, give me a wave if you know what I'm talking about. And maybe it'll become clear also as I tell this story. But have you been experiencing things like guilt, blame? I've been really on the blame. I hope that showed up for you. On a low battery morning, but we'll be fine because I'm going to stay focused. Because what I want to say really is that when we find ourselves in guilt or feeling guilty and not able to access gratitude, say, then we want to recognize that we're out of safety. It doesn't mean that we're bad people or that we're doing something wrong. So as I was sharing, like, it's been a tough week, and sometimes that has gone into what looks like me being really out of safety and in a trauma response. And like yesterday, I was really needing to take a lot of space and lean into the support that I'm telling you it's easy for me to be grateful for, and really lean into that and lean into this connection with myself. And the thing that was making it hardest for me to stay there was this feeling of guilt. I read a post about an ER nurse who wasn't able to be close with her family anymore. And here I was taking space from my family and not feeling in gratitude and in love and in appreciation for them. And I'm so thankful that I was able to see that as something that was getting shaken out of the toy box and something that I can unwind. And I want to offer you just that story and share with you these steps so that if you're finding those things like that, like feeling guilty that you're not appreciating the amount of safety that you do have, or your full cupboards, or that you're appreciating that your partner's home with you, or whatever level that we're having a hard time coming into gratitude and appreciation. So I'm going to give you now the 5 steps to go from there, from guilt. But this really works for any evidence that you're in unsafety, whether it's blame or shame or criticism or comparison, any kind of discomfort, any kind of evidence that we're out of our sense of calm and sense of connection. So this could be agitation and irritability. And the first thing, and we're going to do this together, is to just take a step back and to take a deep breath and breathe in for like a count of 4 or 5 and hold it for a count of 4 or 5 and exhale. And then pause while you're empty. So just taking a step back and calming down. Inhaling, and this is step 1. There's a lot of ways to do this, and breathe out again. But a few deep, slow breaths is a great 911 technique. And what's important is that you exhale as long as you inhaled. And if you can put the pause between your inhales and your exhales, that's really going to help a lot more. If you've ever had the experience of being like a deep breath's not working for you, it's probably because you're putting a lot of your attention on the inhale. Like, I'm going to take a deep breath and then a little exhale. And for this to be really calming for our nervous system, we need to breathe in slowly, and we need to breathe out at least as long as we inhaled or longer. Or we need to add a comfortable pause in between the inhale and the exhale. So that's step 1. Take a step back and calm down. And step 2 is to recognize what we're noticing. And these next steps come from Tara Brach, and they make the acronym RAIN. So the first step is to recognize whatever we're feeling. If it's guilt or blame or comparison or not enoughness or fear, just recognize it and name it. This is the first step of mindfulness, and there's so much evidence-based research that this naming it shifts something in our physiology. So recognize it. And then the third step, so RAIN, recognize. The third step, though, because the first step is to take that step back and to calm down, like we're going to see the rain, is to allow. And to allow whatever it is that we're feeling. To not resist it. I said this in a talk the other day, especially about fear, that what we resist will persist. You've probably heard that before. It's catchy, or it might sound cheesy, but it's so true. So allowing it is like to invite it in. So just allowing, naming fear or guilt, not enoughness, and then just allowing that. And the next step, RAIN, R-A-I-N, is to investigate. So, and when we are investigating it, we're not going to think about it. We're not going to like start to question it at an intellectual level, but we're going to move into our bodies. So what can you notice in your body about that feeling? And just placing a hand there, like it might be your throat or your heart or your belly, just placing a hand there, investigating. And then you just are continuing to breathe, and you can nurture from this body space. It's like soothing, and these are some of Tara's words. Like, this too belongs to love. This too is part of my human experience. How can I bring this in now and offer it in my body some soothing, some love? So this all can happen really quickly, or you can take longer, but it can happen as quickly as we're talking through it. Or you can take it even more quickly, like step by step, or you can spend a while with this and do writing in your journal. But whatever time that we take here, after the RAIN is where our ability to connect again with gratitude and appreciation comes in. Until we've gone through these steps, stepped back, seen the RAIN, walked through it, after the RAIN comes our capacity to connect in with gratitude, with appreciation, with all these higher order feelings of love. Does that make sense? So, and this gratitude, this appreciation, these higher vibration type of emotions that just feel better. They just feel better. They really have the power to lift us up and to help us to create the life that we want inside these circumstances. So we can ask the question of ourselves, who do we want to be? Who do we want to be in these conditions, in this situation, at this juncture point in our lives? So just taking a little bit of time for that. I really know that the capacity that I have to receive this love and support is really based on my ability to lean in and to, I think this is an AA term, and I don't really know much about AA, but like work the steps, but work these steps, work the dot to dot of calming down, of recognizing where I'm at, of allowing, of investigating, and of nurturing. And it's really normal for that to be really hard to do on our own. I think as humans, we're meant to do that in community and in collaboration and in holding space for each other. So, I mentioned that like toy box getting shook upside down in my life and in my work. And one of the things that has been coming out of there is like all this stuff that feels like, oh, it's in the way of just really reaching out and connecting with you personally. And I'm going to find more and more ways of creating, new channels through which that I can help you to build these skills, to have your own like toolkit that you can really lean into, that because it feels better. It feels better, and it allows us to create the conditions in our life that are going to allow our children to thrive in these circumstances. That's going to allow us to be our highest selves in these conditions, who we really want to be. And just take away all the what ifs. What if you know that you're not going to be able to work with me in what you imagine or you guess the cost of that would be? I really want you to know that my free coaching call is just that. And I want to just take all of the parameters off of it that make that feel like you have to be maybe ready to move forward or work with me. If you give me a call, if you get on my schedule, I'm just going to be meeting you exactly where you're at and sharing with you my best reflections and my best advice from the perspective of an Ayurvedic practitioner, from the perspective of a motherhood coach. What are the tools that I can hand you in the time that we have in this like free hour that is really dedicated just to you and into me giving you as much of my love and attention as you are able to receive in that time. So it might be physical recommendations, things that you can do that are more directed, more focused than that typical take some deep breaths, which I know I started out with as my step for calm down. But there's a lot more. So I might be able to give you something that I know is going to really work for who you are and your physiology and the way that imbalance is showing up in your life. Or it might be some energetic tools to help you to maintain better boundaries with yourself, because everybody's up on top of each other a lot more than they were. Like, and this wasn't even a big shift for our lifestyle. We're all at home all the time anyway, you know, so much of the time. And still we're up in each other's business so much more than we were. And so I got a lot of energetic tools, mental, emotional reframing tools, ways that you can reframe, that I can help you to see the thinking that's starting this chain of event and help you to reframe that so that you can feel the trickle down of that power. I guarantee that you will feel better at the end of our call and that you'll feel more empowered and like you have more of what you need to be who you want to be, more connected to who that is, that you'll feel really safer. And I really hope that you'll take me up on that opportunity and let me know. If not, why not? Why not? Oh, I want to answer a what if. What another one, which is one I hear a lot, is like, I wouldn't be able to create that space. I wouldn't be able to take that space for my kids. And I'm here to tell you, like, nobody is going to make that space for you but you. That's just something that, you know, is not going to be a sustainable idea moving forward, because we're going to have, like, we just don't even have the same freedoms as we had before. So I just want you to throw that out the window right now and know that you can make that space. I know that the solution is right in that problem. You can ask for support from your husband. You can use that as part of your show time. You can have your children join you. You know, I oftentimes am on calls or receiving coaching and my kids are just around and I'm saying, oh, mommy's, they know all of my coaches, and oh, mommy's on this call and with this person. And they start to recognize that and give that space. So there's just so many solutions to that problem, and the cost is not an issue, obviously. So this is a free call. So please reach out to me. And if this isn't something that you feel like could serve you, if there is somebody else you know whose toy box has really gotten shook up, who's really getting squeezed right now, invite them to this group, share the link to my call booking with them, encourage them to talk to me or to watch some of my videos, see if they feel like they connect with me at all. You know, not everybody does, but I know some of you are here and are listening, and I really want to be able to hear from you as well, not just be talking out into space. So thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions about that or about what that call would be, you can DM me or ask in the comments here. The other thing that I'll ask for is if these messages are resonating with you at all, please like them, please share them, because more people see them. And so if it's of any benefit to you at all, then pass that on, because that's something that is really, really helpful in sharing your experience, sharing what resonates with you. That helps us all. So I'll just recap here at the end, the 5 steps going from guilt all the way into gratitude or appreciation is the first is to step back and to see the rain, which is to recognize what's going on within us. Oh, time's up. To notice, to recognize what's happening for us, and then to allow it. I was gonna say, to name it. So calm down, take a few deep breaths, just come into your body and into the present moment, and then recognize, name what's happening for you. And the third step is to allow whatever it is. It's okay, it's part of the human experience. It's by no judgment, no self-judgment, no self-criticism. And then investigate. And by investigate, I mean drop into your body. Where do you feel this? What's happening in your body? Is your breath shallow? Is it deep? Do you feel tightness in your chest or your throat? Putting your hand on that part of the body will help you as you nurture, as you continue to breathe. And you just invite in, this belongs to love too. This belongs to love too. I can love this. How can I love this? Part of who I am, part of my humanity. And after the rain, we can step more fully into gratitude and into appreciation and into love and into who we want to be in our life and in these circumstances. So I will leave you with that, and no rain around here today, bright sunshine. I hope that you can soak that up. Vitamin D is one of the most evidence-based, proven strategies for increasing our capacity to fight all illness, especially respiratory illness of all kinds. So get some sunshine as well as take that supplement. So lots of love to you guys. Bye for now.